true faith.
Where do you see it? Where do you see its roots today? This mentality is infiltrated probably every perspective of life. Media, especially one of the places where I think a lot of people are concerned now, sending their kids off, even the Catholic institutions. I hate to say that. I don't put your university in that at all because you're one of the bedrocks. There's a lot of really good universities. But I remember a friend of mine getting ready to send his daughter to college, and he says, I just don't want them to lose their faith. There are institutions that were once sanctuaries for the betterment of mind and for real intellectual exchange, now have become havens for this new religion you speak of.
Well, education is at the forefront of all of this. And so it's true, not just havens, I would say monasteries and seminaries of the new religion. Many of the universities and colleges of our country have bought in hook, line, and sinker, and they're not simply influenced by this new religion. They are the purveyors of it. They're the places where it's taught and inculcated. And then, of course, we do see it touch upon every aspect of our culture. Our political discourse is so full of rage precisely for this reason, that people, because they've lost sight of God and don't realize that each human being has an immortal soul with an eternal destiny, and that the stakes are very high, when we lose faith in that, when our allegiance to the invisible world slips away, Drew, we have to have an allegiance to something. We have to attach ourselves to something, or else we lose meaning and then we lose hope. And so as a result, politics becomes everything to everybody. Now, don't get me wrong, Catholics are political because human beings are political. And we care a lot. We care deeply about the right order of our society. But we don't give our hearts to the political order. We don't think that it's the end-all and be-all. And we certainly don't think that we can, through political action and machination, somehow craft a utopia in this fallen world. We would be we would not just be crazy, we couldn't be Christians if we believed that. But the belief of that is so strong, the belief in that is so strong that it has many of us deeply worked up, and we forget, and this is very interesting, God has promised to destroy his enemies. But St. Augustine, commenting on that, the passage from the scriptures said, and God has promised to destroy his enemies, and God's favorite way of destroying his enemies is to make them his friends. is to transform them, is to convert their hearts. And so we're meant to bear witness in the world to the truth of the gospel, even in the midst of a world in which people believe that they've grown weary of the gospel, that they've heard it all before, it has nothing to do with their lives, and they've had done with it. Well, that's only because they have a distorted vision of what the truth of the gospel really is about. We have to preach and model and witness to the truth of Jesus operative and active in the world.
Amen. I love it. In fact, part of the answer is what was on my mind. I'm sitting back here, I'm thinking, gosh, it seems so dark, this message, right? What practical steps can we take, both as individuals, as a community, to resist the allure of this new religion? Because it's a, I don't know, it's a poison you don't even feel at first. It just kind of desensitizes and numbs you before it takes over. I mean, how do we maintain our faith in this Christian beliefs to make sure that is what is spread and vibrant in the culture?
Well, I think we have to root ourselves in the true narrative. Right now, so you're an observer of culture, I'm an observer of culture, and you're a storyteller too. You're a person who brings things to life. You do it so beautifully. We're really lucky to have you. But I'll tell you that people are alive to stories. And so look at the pervasive influence. I'm just going to name a couple. The Marvel Comics series and the Star Wars series and Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and even the Christian epics, the Lord of the Rings and the Chronicles of Narnia. People are swept away by these stories. We love hearing them. We love the sort of clash of between right and wrong. We love daring deeds of dashing doom, and we love all of those things, and we lose sight of the fact that we, as Catholics, when we open the New Testament, have right before us the most epic story ever told, the greatest love story in history with the most spectacular of heroes. There are no heroes which hold a candle to the heroes in the New Testament. There are also no villains who are anywhere as corrupt and malevolent as the villains in the New Testament. And so we have the greatest story ever told, and this is an advantage. It's true. All of it's true from beginning to end. And so it's a profound epic story which really came true and which touches upon each of our lives, and our lives are swept up in this true history of the world. And so I think that practically, and this might not seem practical, but it's the most practical thing possible. Our imaginations, our hearts, and our minds need to be drenched in the true narrative, the true story, and that means the practice of our faith. It means that we're not content to be complacent when we go to Mass and we don't feel like the readings are really touching us very deeply. We need to say, no, the problem isn't in the readings. The problem is in me. That I need to dig more deeply. I need to be more captivated by these deepest truths. And then all of a sudden we begin to live our lives from that high romance, and everything changes. That also is what makes us into effective witnesses for the gospel and evangelists as well.
Well, Monsignor, I'm so grateful for your time, for your wisdom. If people want to be well-formed, they want to go to a great institution, of course, they can go to your university. What will people find? What's the best way to connect?
You know, we've got a great website, umary.edu. Come2mary.life as well is a great way to find us. And then for people out there, Drew, who are looking to be formed, who already, maybe they've got their bachelor's degree, but they're looking for an online program for the Catholic professional. So I'm thinking about an MBA or a DBA, a doctorate in business administration, or maybe a master's degree in nursing, a master's degree in teaching, a master's degree in Catholic studies or apostolic leadership, or one of these great certificate programs. We have the largest portfolio of Newman Guide approved graduate programs for the Catholic professional of any college or university in the country, and that can be found at catholicprofessional.com.
Well, hey, Monsignor, thank you for your time. Safe travels. And I look forward to the next time we talk. It's always good to have you here.
Hey, I love being with you, Drew. God bless you.
God bless you. That's Monsignor James Sayce. Say a prayer for him. And, of course, check out the university. You'll be glad you did. One of the most affordable educations in the country. I'm telling you. You're saying, I don't know if I can afford it. Believe me. You'll be well fed and, educated. It's really what I'm trying to say here. Got to take a short break. It's about 10 minutes before the top of the hour. The Holy Father came out and said something recently, and it struck me, and I'll share it with you. He raised a question. He says, what would happen if we prayed more and we complained less? I thought about that. St. Faustina and some of the other saints had this challenge. I'll fill you in on what they encountered when I return.
It's the